It's 94.3 WYBC, the rhythm of the city. I'm Darryl Huckaby with DeDe In The Morning. And you know, if it's a Wednesday and 9 o'clock, it is time to have a conversation about building generational wealth, finances, and moolah, the money. And the person to do that is Dr. Roberta Hoskie. Good morning, and hey.
Hey. Thank you, Huck, and thank you, DeDe. You know, this is my favorite day of the week, Wealthy Wednesdays, where we get to talk about this good old topic of creating wealth. And today I wanted to talk about an article that I recently read in CNBC, and it was titled "The Barriers of Black Families Facing Generational Wealth." And so, you know, when I saw that title, Huck, it just like caught my attention. So I began to read, and it gave a number of reasons why, a number of barriers. But one of the ones that I want to talk about today that stuck out um, it talked about after generations of being excluded from wealth, um, from after generations of being excluded from building wealth, Black Americans still face unique challenges stemming from racial discrimination. And one of the main barriers that they talked about is still this credit issue. It's still the credit issue. And so I loved it because I began to dig in, and you know, I like numbers. And it started talking about the differences between the credit scores between age groups. So, for example, between the age of 18 and 20 with our African American Black families, the credit score is 24 points less than the white children between 18 and 20. Then when you
Wow.
get then it gets to 21 to 24, that 24 differential point goes up to 83. And then check this out, Hub. 25, the age 25 to 29, the difference in credit score between Black families and white families or individuals is 105 points. So if you start looking at the data, we go 24, 83, 105. So that credit gap is widening. And
Why do
so,
you, why do you think it is increasing as we get older?
well, I think it stems because we are not managing our money from the very beginning. But what the article said and I agree with it, it talks about credit cards and how credit cards are viewed in white families as leverage. They're never viewed as a means to pay a bill like we do, or a means to
Yeah.
get fresh or get cute and you know, go and get all the things that we don't need.
So,
It was
in
mhm,
other words, we use it for consumption versus
yeah.
building, leveraging, and then building other assets or expanding our wealth versus,
Absolutely.
adding debt to our portfolio.
Absolutely. The consumption versus capital.
Mhm.
And you know, that's the whole difference. It's mentality, it's mindset. And
Right.
so what they also made a note at is that many white families teach their children very early about credit, and they do this thing called piggybacking, where they allow their children to get on their credit card at the age of 18, which boosts their score. So by the time they're out of high school, they have a 700, 800 credit score.
Right.
And then when we get out of high school, we go to college or try to figure it out, get a credit card to stay afloat,
Right.
not to thrive. And that goes back to the mentality of surviving and thriving. And if we're gonna shift this wealth gap and create wealth, we got to shift the mindset from surviving to thriving.
All about knowledge too. So we got to start at an earlier age. And, historically, unfortunately, that's been the way within our culture. But good information. So everybody take this in. And from this point on, start, educating your kids early and setting them up for success. Because that's all it is, setting up for success, as opposed to setting up for failure and living in a world of debt.
Absolutely. And I must say, Hug, before we close out, is that, you know, if we have no plan of wealth, by default, we pass down poverty. Do nothing and poverty will repeat itself, but it's up to us to change the next generation. So we have to be intentional about this.
All right. Well, thanks for the information, Roberta. How can
Absolutely.
everybody stay connected with you?
Of course, follow me on social media, Dr. Roberta Hoskie, aka Miss Millionaire Mindset. You can follow me on Facebook, IG, YouTube, and of course TikTok. So make sure you follow me for more
You're
information.
everywhere, Roberta. You're everywhere.
I have to be.
There it is. All right, Wealthy Wednesdays with Dr. Roberta Hoskie, along with DeDe In The Morning, and of course, Darryl Huckaby on the rhythm of the city, 94.3 WYBC.